Never thought we'd get a joke about masturbation in the MCU, but here we are.
I love it.
They did it without having to say the word.
They did it without Deadpool.
They did it with Vision.
Impressive. Oh man, there would have been some sick gambling odds on that, dude. Vision would have had such good odds. You could have thrown a $10 bet down. I bet you could have won 100,000.
Welcome to the Penny Bloom Podcast. Ain't another place that has got more bombast. Romp past your mom, dads, listening to Tomcats, talking everything that make you sad. We don't want that. We're here to make you smile. Put your mind at ease. Peace, love, and bloom, and always praise Keanu Reeves. This what we about. Get some weed and now. We'll talk until we can't no more, and then we peacing out. Alright, let's go. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast.
One division, one division, one division, one division. Hello, everybody. This is the Penny Bloom Podcast. 'Tis I, Colton Robertson, and I know it's been a couple weeks, but we really fucking needed it for this show. I'm back with the boys for the WandaVision watch. With me, I've got my boy Joseph George. How you doing, buddy?
What it do?
Been
a while. Glad we're back.
I'm ready. I'm fucking ready. And we've also got Miles Buttress. How you doing, bud?
Doing well. Took us a while, but finally back.
A while, but I think we needed it.
Yes, we did.
And on the screen below me that I can see and you cannot, we've got KBZ, Kyler Barnett. How you doing, Bo?
I'm great. How we doing?
I am chilling. So let's talk some WandaVision. What the fuck?
Yep.
That's how I'll start. I don't get it. I get a little bit of it, but then like as soon as I think I get it, I'm immediately like, oh wait, no, that doesn't make sense now. I'm constantly just kind of guessing, and I love it.
I love
what I'm looking at.
I think what's so funny to me is how different it feels from Mando, yet like I guess I mean different in a way like expanded upon the feeling of like I've never had to watch TV this way, like week to week, you know? Like I've never had that cliffhanger every week type of feeling, you know? I've never had scheduled television. So it's super weird in that regard, but it's also weird because like in Mando it was such a sense of like I don't know what's coming. But it was never as like confusing as what we're seeing right now. Like it was never confusing. It was just like a general like, oh, I don't know where we're headed. But it's gonna make sense. But like with this, it's like I don't even know where to begin to look for like I don't have a starting place.
You know, and it's gonna be tough, but we're gonna pull through together. You know, we're gonna figure this shit out.
I don't know. Judging off what I've seen on social media, it sounds like this next episode is going to clear a lot of things. Based off of just what I've seen, I feel like I think I've seen a couple like tease tweets, I guess, like talking about how this episode is supposed to really like kind of open things up a little bit, I guess.
Well, I feel like the first two episodes, obviously a little kind of confusing, like questions to be asked, but it's not like anything that you're like, all right, what is this? What is going on? Into the third episode, it like really reaches that point of you're like, what the hell am I watching? Where I feel like the fourth episode has to answer some questions.
There's one specific scene that really has me like super like. There's only one thing that's ever made me feel this way, and I guess I'll just wait till we get there. But God, the feelings I'm getting from this show are so conflicting sometimes. It's real weird.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm through and through loving it just because I love what I'm looking at.
Absolutely, the aesthetic is perfect. I could watch out like it's like everything I love of like sitcom, like that '70s show, like the Friends gags, like everything is there. Like it's all.
Yeah. So let's get into this. Episodes 1 through 3. We're doing all of them. We're doing all the episodes available, and it's not going to be so scene by scene. I did something that I've done on the regular scheduled programming of the Penny Bloom podcast called Hitting the High Notes. And it's kind of in the name. I take the notes.
And we hit the good ones.
Yeah, the high high notes, and it'll give us a general outline of how the episode went. And
Understood.
It's a good one. So we start off with episode 1, filmed before a live studio audience, and I love the episode titles too. They've been very cool. And
my favorite part have just been the commercials.
Dude,
it's an ad from the show, but I love it.
Super funny.
They're so old. I want to know if there's any. I have a theory about that too that I've mentioned a little bit. So there's so much.
There's so much. So I love the opening. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I just really love how every single one of them too, where it's this is supposed to kind of look like a commercial, but also look at this very clear hinted thing that's relevant to the show.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Let's zoom in on this to say, look.
Yeah, we got all the Hydra products and Star products, and we'll get more into that later when they come up. But immediately, I loved the opening. I loved how we opened the show up with the classic sitcom. It showed them goofily using their powers in a very 50s sitcom way, and I really enjoyed it. And I like how it said starring Wanda Maximoff and Vision, which lets us know that this is this is legitimately what's going on in their dimension. This is actually happening, I guess.
Right. This is they've created, this is what she's created. This is how she wants to live her, right? I mean, that's my interpretation.
That is the first question, that's what I'm kind of led to assume, is that Wanda has kind of created this for herself, but we don't necessarily know that.
I guess that's true. And do you guys notice how the end credits, I know that's super, obviously interesting.
Yes.
Do you guys notice how the end credits almost make it seem like it's a Truman Show almost kind of vibe?
Yes.
It's got a control
inside
room.
Of a simulation.
Yeah.
People are upkeeping it and stuff like that. Yeah, that is...
Weird vibes. Weird. So much to get into. I'm sorry, I don't mean to throw us off track again.
No. I mean, this isn't a very set show. This one won't be. We're just kind of, if anywhere the conversation takes you, take it there, because I want to hear it, all right? This show's much more all over the place, much more than The Mandalorian. It's fucking random, so we'll be random too,
Yeah, at this point, I mean, I feel like we're just rolling with the punches. I mean, I don't even know if you can blame us at this point. We're kind of just taking these things as we go.
I loved this very, very first scene where she goes, Wanda's fixing up the kitchen and she's floating the plate and it hits Vision in the head and she goes, "My wife and her flying saucers," and he's like, "My husband and his indestructible head." I loved that because, I mean, obviously they were pretty big nods to the actual movies in which she's flying saucers and Vision does not have an indestructible head.
We wasn't saying that. That's Cap.
That's Cap. And we also quickly get the first of a couple jokes about Vision not eating.
Yes.
Those were they kept going back to that a couple times.
I think it was just to lead up to the talent show. Yeah, the talent show scene, which maybe has some importance.
Yeah,
the fact that he can't eat, or I
feel like it just doesn't make any sense.
Well, he's a robot. He's not a real.
Yeah, but he's also he's like a he's not fully robotic because he was supposed to be almost like a 3D printed body type thing. And I feel like somewhere in that design they should have said hey, a failsafe just in case you eat something on accident.
Well, that's
and so you don't die.
Because if we're looking at a universe in which Wanda has created and say it is after Vision has died, it doesn't have to be exactly accurate. It can
maybe. Mm-hmm.
Judging by the way she also gave Vision a job that has zero meaning. It's just Vision has a job, he goes to work and he does something. He can't even figure out what he's doing, but he's fucking doing it, I
didn't even think about that Vision is legitimately dead.
Yeah.
There was no bringing him back. So this could just be just a fake Vision.
I remember the theories that he was essentially I don't know how to explain it. I guess hollow. Yeah, and you could kind of you could essentially try to. I don't remember the theory. It was super long ago and super vague, but essentially that the fact that he went gray, it's just he lost his battery basically. I guess if that makes any sense. That sounds really corny, but in my way of dumbing it down.
No, I get you for sure. I like that. It would just take the punch away from that ending in Infinity War if he's just not actually dead. You know, like he has to be dead.
But I guess he still has his powers, so that really wouldn't make much sense. So I don't.
But maybe it is like that. He is just like a cheap recreation of like they tried to get him like to where like the personality and everything was the same, but he's not really the same.
He's like the Danny DeVito used car salesman in Matilda of like Visions. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Also, thinking of if he can phase through things, why can he not phase the gum through him?
Wow.
Because it's a 50s sitcom, man.
Because it's funnier to get the gum caught in his gears.
Oh, and make him drunk as hell.
Vision's powered by the Mind Stone, correct?
Correct.
So, at the end of Endgame, they put the stones back where they needed to be. So, does that mean that Vision would be a thing because
in a different universe?
But it's that different timeline. No, because it's the same timeline because they put the stones back in where they're supposed to go. So, in the future, Vision would be created again.
Yes, but then it would still get destroyed.
No, because they killed Thanos.
They killed Thanos. They erased that time. They erased that timeline, didn't they?
Yeah, no, but remember, these aren't different timelines. These are like straight up different universes. Because that's why that Thanos was a different Thanos.
No,
yes. He wasn't. He was just 2012 Thanos.
Yeah, because remember the scene with what was the girl's name? Doctor Strange's mentor.
Because that's why what's it? Gamora and what's her name are still on Thanos' side.
Maybe. It's the same timeline. It's just there's multiple in the timeline, multiple of the same people. It's just they don't know what they used to know.
I vaguely remember after Endgame came out that they talked about. I don't know if it was Marvel or if it was fans that talked about it and said because there are literally like different universes and stuff, and I think from the comics as well, there are different Thanoses. And the Thanos that they had in their original timeline was like the philosopher Thanos. And that's why his solution was just, I'm going to kill half of all life. And that'll help. That'll solve the issues.
In Endgame, he points out that like the last Thanos clearly didn't finish the job.
Yeah, but the Thanos that came back was a different Thanos and was like the warrior Thanos. And that's why he was just like, all right, I'm just going to kill all of you. Okay. And that'll be the solution.
But remember the bald girl, Doctor Strange's, I always forget her name.
Yes.
But she was explaining to Hulk like how a timeline would split if you took a stone, from back in time. But that's the whole reason why they went back and then put them back in the timeline so it would be okay. So everything doesn't break apart.
Yes, but I think that these were still like different. They were like similar timelines, but I think they were still different universes.
This is interesting.
And I'm hoping we get some answers through this show.
I honestly think the only I think the only way we get a true answer to this is probably through this show. Actually, and then after that, Spider-Man / Doctor Strange 2. I think those two movies.
Thinking about it though, wouldn't it have to be a different timeline? Because if they kill that Thanos that comes back, then that means that the Thanos would have never the Thanos from their timeline, if he was from their timeline, would have never lived to do the snap. So that's how you get around the whole paradox thing. It has to be different universes.
Yeah. Okay. It could be.
he could.
Because if it's the Thanos from their timeline from like 2012. Comes to the future and dies, he would have never snapped.
Yeah, because no, I get.
It means have to be different.
So they undid what 2018, right? That's when Infinity War takes place. They undid what he did, right? The Avengers undid what 2018 Thanos did, right? Boom, brings back everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then they snapped 2012 Thanos away, which would have undid 2018's original snap. So does that mean there's double everyone on the planet?
Exactly. That's why it has to be a different universe.
I think Thanos snap happened. They just reversed the causes of what happened. Like, whoever's snapping, they can do whatever they want. Whatever's in their mind can happen.
Yeah, it's a wish thing. We've established that.
But it's not whatever, because the reason they could bring everyone back is because they were all in the Soul Stone. That's why they couldn't bring...
I don't know if that was...
That's why they couldn't bring Wanda, and they couldn't bring the original Gamora back was because they weren't in the soul. They weren't like kept in the Soul Stone. They were given as sacrifices, so they can never come back. According to, yeah.
Okay, but using this logic where the Thanos snap would have never happened.
They would have. You get yourself in a paradox because if it would have never happened, then you never have to save them. Then they never go back in time.
I don't think it never happened. Okay, the way I take this whole time travel thing is that before they time traveled, they killed real Thanos, the only Thanos they knew of. Then they went back to put the stones back in time, and that let Thanos from the past come to the future. So. And then with the purple and blue girl, oh my god, why am I blanking on everyone's name? The
Nebula.
Robot. Yeah, Nebula. She knew everything that future Nebula knew, which let old Thanos know everything that new Thanos knew. So I don't think it's a different universe. I just think it's literally a jump to the future.
Okay, I'm cool with that.
But think about it though, Joseph. If it's just a jump to the future, 2012 Thanos jumps to the future, gets killed, so 2012 Thanos never exists. So 2018 Thanos now doesn't exist to do the snap.
Oh, my feeble
Causing
brain
a paradox.
cannot comprehend time travel.
Yeah, that's why
That's
time
the
travel
problem
is
with
always
time
caused
travel in
issue.
movies. Is there's always going to be a hole we can poke through. You
Yes,
know?
which is
Well, you
why
know what
I
I
think
think?
this has to be different. Like the whole multiverse angle is if they're taking Thanos from different multiverses, like a Thanos from a whole different universe, it doesn't fuck up their timeline.
So essentially, what you're telling me is what the Avengers did in Endgame was essentially did the Patrick from SpongeBob. Well, why don't we just take the people in this universe and put them over here? Is that basically what I'm hearing? Is that the logic? If that's what we're saying,
with
I'm
time
fine. I'm
stones.
rolling with it. I just want to know if that's what it is.
SpongeBob is ahead of us all.
That with time stones, yes, that's what I think happened.
See, you know what? At this point, I'm just hungry to attach to something. So, like, if that's it, good. Let's go with
So
it.
am I. I'm just
Bingo.
let's keep this rolling.
Let's
We
just
got our
enjoy
thoughts out
it
there.
and let's
We've been
ride.
going with
Like,
it. I dig the
into the-
discussion.
Yeah, I'm
dig
glad
the-
I threw even more confusion into the already confusing discussion.
I wasn't even confused about Endgame before we started talking about it.
yeah, I think we
Welcome.
made it worse for everyone. Honestly, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Like, wow, what have we done?
They have this little back and forth here about the heart on the calendar and how they neither of them exactly knows what it is, but they both keep acting like they do. And I thought it was a real cute little back and forth. I like them
I
together.
know, and it really like, God, it's just so nice to see that's going to be a component. I guess I don't know. I guess I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how heavily they were going to lean into like the sappy romantic like sitcom stuff. And listen, I'm totally like I love it. I'm all for.
I
it.
love it too.
I just didn't know if we were going to get it or not. So then,
I'm glad we did. I love
Yeah.
that like we get even more of it in episode 2.
Yes,
I-
you didn't
I
think they
love-
were going to dive immediately into the sappy rom-com like 90s sitcom trope of, well, I remember, but you don't, so why don't you tell me?
Exactly.
It
But,
felt very Monica and Chandler type
Yeah,
stuff.
I love that kind of shit. And we hear a knock on the door next, and enter Agnes, played by one Catherine Hahn, who is just fantastic in fucking everything she's in. I love her. She's awesome. And she greets Wanda, and I like how they have these subtle little jokes about their powers throughout the show that are like nods to the audience, like wink, and then like nobody else knows. And the one here was that Agnes is like, "Did you get a moving company? You moved in awful fast." And Wanda's like, "Of course, those boxes didn't move themselves." Ha ha ha.
And that's what I
she
think
can
the-
make things appear places.
It's like the laugh track, and I can't even think now if it happened in the show, like in these exact moments or not. But if not, like those moments you're talking about, like those wink to the audience moments, like at us, like those are like we are the laugh track in that scenario. You know what I mean? Like, is that making
Exactly,
any
yeah.
sense? Like it's just that little gag where it's like,
They're breaking the fourth wall a little bit.
yeah.
And Wanda tells Agnes that she's married, and Agnes is like, "Ooh, I don't see a ring." And Wanda's like, "Oh, I don't really have an explanation for that. But we're celebrating tonight." And she's like, "Ooh, what are you celebrating?" She's like, "Fuck if I know, but we're doing it." And they end up settling on some sort of anniversary, and they discuss how they're going to get it done real quick. And on her way out the door, Agnes goes, "This is going to be a gas," and I'm going to start saying that more. This is going to be a gas.
I love that the dialogue kind of reminds me of like John Mulaney in a way. Like it just a lot of the stuff that gets like these from at least this episode, like in this like time, it just that's what I get out of it.
I get you for sure. I can totally hear John Mulaney just with that. This is gonna be a gas. You know,
Oh yeah,
like that.
absolutely.
I feel like her character is just designed to where like 90% of the
My
lines,
hands. That's why they're wet.
90% of the
No
lines that
other
she
reason.
says are just like are followed up with a wink at the audience.
Exactly.
You know what's
And,
you know what's really sorry, my bad.
Go ahead.
You know what's really sad to think about? If they were to celebrate this as any sort of anniversary, like you said, like they agreed that it would be some kind of anniversary or something. Imagine how bleak it is to think about what it would have been. Like
What
if
do
it
you
was
mean?
like the 1 year of them being together, well, that was like right around Infinity, like, well, I guess not Infinity War, but like, I don't know if your anniversary was somehow, some way in where were they when they got attacked in Infinity War?
Oh yeah, Copenhagen.
Yeah, like something like that. Like that was like around then. Like I don't know when they celebrate, obviously, but like
Yeah.
Would be some bad memories to look back on.
That's what's so confusing is that they don't seem to know shit about themselves.
But they know
Yeah.
Ultron. Like Ultron
Well-
was mentioned, but did she know it, or did she be like, "Wait, I
We'll
know"?
get to that. We'll get to that
Yeah.
more later after we discuss some other stuff because we can't just jump straight into that. We got to work up to it. That's at the end of episode 3. We're still here in episode 1 a little bit. We
We're
got to
still,
ground the
like-
discussion slightly.
5 minutes into episode 1.
Yeah, and I love this this transition here with Yakety Yak. Yakety Yak slaps. I don't give a fuck. Yakety Yak.
I actually
Oh,
added it to
always.
my playlist after I heard it on the show.
Oh, it's outstanding, and I love that Vision is just a walking computer, like working on these fucking ancient.
I wonder how they do that effect. He's like zooming so quick. I don't know. That effect's really cool.
I love it. I love the like kind of old school feel to the effects, even though they're a lot cleaner than old school effects would have been. I dig that part of it. I think that's funny, and I love that Vision has no idea what the fuck this company does.
No one does.
He turns in his papers. He's like, "So what is it that we do here exactly?" He's like, "Well, we analyze." He's like, "What do we analyze? Our input and our output. What are we inputting and outputting?" Well, fuck if I know. It's just we do it. And he's like, "God damn, I can't figure shit out here." And and again, we get another joke here in a second about their kind of being a little wink at the audience. Vision says, "I'm a regular carbon-based employee entirely made out of organic matter, much like yourself."
Yeah, a little complicated
Yeah, little
way of
like,
just saying I'm a human.
Yeah,
But,
that can't be
yeah,
what
yeah.
you thought. I'm a normal human.
You
And
know,
I
he
say things like this.
he could just be a quirky guy. You meet people like that. Just a little over the top, a little quirky.
For sure. No doubt. And enter Mr. Hart here. And Vision realizes, oh shit, Hart, Mr. Hart, Mrs. Hart, we're having dinner tonight. And Mr. Hart seems like a real fucking stick in the mud. And what's interesting to me, and the theory that I'm latching onto the most, is that this sitcom universe already kind of existed. Wanda maybe took Vision in their last, and potentially, I don't know when, but took him into that dimension, potentially to like save his life or something. I don't fucking know. And that's why they have to hide so fucking hard. And she has the capability of throwing people out of this dimension. I don't know. I'm just trying to grasp at straws here. But
Or
I think Sword comes into it with, they're also trying to figure out how the fuck she did it.
yeah, that is
how-
a good question.
Doing this.
How is she there?
I don't think all of them are Sword. I think only Geraldine is Sword.
I don't know. It's kind of sounded. They might not have been Sword directly, but it kind of sounded like they were all in on the joke.
Like Agnes and Herb?
Yes.
I was suspicious of them, but I think they could be something else entirely. I think they could be, because, there's got to be an antagonist, and I don't think that Sword is the antagonist. I think if they're a branch of S.H.I.E.L.D., they're purely there for observational reasons, and they're there to try to figure out what's going on. But I think someone has to be holding Wanda there at least a little bit, because at the end of one of these episodes, we hear Randall Park, of the voice that's coming through, go, "Wanda, who's doing this to you? What's going on?" And so I don't think I don't know exactly what's happening, and I'm trying to grasp at straws here, but I can't figure it out.
She's in a coma. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of anything that makes sense where Wanda basically doesn't really know what's going on either.
Exactly.
And this heart just is on the calendar. I think it's kind of winking at they just got here and they have some they don't know how they got here. It's kind of like amnesia in a sense. They know that they're in this world, but they don't exactly know what put them here or how they got here.
Well, the reason I think it's a sitcom universe too is that these people so clearly play characters. Like Mr. Hart, as soon as he kind of got out of character and started choking later, it glitched out the whole fucking system.
Yeah, that's true.
Dude, stop it. Stop it.
Oh my god.
And so the baby, we're cooking with gas now, baby. All right, because Herb, when he was cutting and then goes into the rock, I wasn't gonna go there because it was gonna get to it later. But now you said that, and I was gonna ask you guys what the fuck that was about. But now you say that, and I was in my head, my theory was kind of like glitching the system type stuff, and I think that's kind of in a way the way you're leaning, but
oh, absolutely, that is kind of what
more
I mean,
so
it still doesn't clear up exactly what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, no,
maybe him cutting through the wall was more of they were talking about what was going on with Wanda and Vision, or they know the inside scoop, and that it's so important that he just didn't realize what he was doing. But I don't know, because then Vision told him.
Eerie silence.
Yeah, and then he continued doing it after Vision told him. But I agree with you, Colton. I do think there is, obviously there has to be an antagonist or something. I don't think either of them are it though, just because of the way that he was trying to be hey, maybe you should go check on her. Something's about to happen. Okay.
I don't know if her. I'm leaning most towards Agnes is the big bad. She's been there from the very beginning, helping Wanda, getting on her good side. And it seems like she's kept an eye on her. She knows what she's up to, knowing that Wanda is the only one who could potentially stop her. And the reason I say this is because Agnes seems to be based off a Marvel comic book character that is also a witch called Agatha. And she, in the comics, takes Wanda under her wings, but there's also stories where she's not as nice,
But she's the one that tells all the jokes.
She is the one that tells all the jokes, but that would be the perfect little... she's I'm just kind of here. I don't know. I'm just trying to...
Yeah.
Kind of hiding in plain sight.
Right now, if there's anybody, Agnes is who I lean towards,
Is there anybody that would hold a grudge against Wanda in any way? In previous films, or...
Maybe somebody from Wanda, but I don't know how that would tie in here.
The stones were still there after Tony died. And maybe someone used the reality stone on Wanda, and this is the reality, that's the reality she's living. Maybe she asked someone, like the Hulk, maybe since he can withstand, with all Gamma and stuff like that, maybe she asked him, hey, I just want to be with Vision. I have nothing left here. Just please create just a dimension for me or something. I don't know.
I like that idea, but I think we're heading in a direction where we realize Wanda is strong enough to do shit like that on her own.
What I was going to say, thinking about that, maybe Sword is the antagonist in that maybe at the end of Endgame, she just fucking snatched the soul or whatever stone Vision had, which I think was the Soul Stone. But I also don't. Which one? Oh, Mind Stone. Yeah, maybe she just snatched the Mind Stone and, dipped to her own dimension that she could create. And Sword is just like, hey, give it back.
We want that back.
Well, the Mind Stone is still in his head.
Yeah,
maybe.
Or is it in his head?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Is Vision even real? That's the tough part. And I don't know if you noticed the little design on the Cabinet of Mysteries at the beginning of episode 2, but it had a little stone figure at the top of it, and it looked like it was shining. So I think that was a nod to the Mind Stone or to an Infinity Stone. But I'm assuming
maybe that's what this whole show is. She's there. Sword is like keeping her under wraps, trying to get in there and take the stone back, and that's why she just yeeted Geraldine out of existence whenever she thought that she was working for Sword.
Mayhaps that's true, but back at the house, Wanda and Agnes are working together to figure out ways to please Vision, and it's pretty fucking funny. She tells them to tell Vision that single men die at twice the rate of married men, and I loved Wanda's, like, she's such a good, like, 50s styled actor. The little fucking
I never would have thought either, honestly.
Now that's romantic. Like,
yeah.
I was like that was just so perfect for the time period and the acting she was doing.
I should fall into his arms. Oh, that was
exactly.
Like the things they said were sexy.
It's so many different. It's like, to me, I get such Mad Men. I get such Friends. I get such that '70s show. I get like all these vibes. And I love that they're
sitcom culture, and it's perfect. It's actually really awesome, and I love that Vision and Wanda get on the phone, and Vision is talking about dinner with the Hearts. And Wanda is talking about fucking.
Yeah.
He's like, everything rides on this one, honey. And she's like, Viz, after all this time, we're still.
I'm thinking about pleasing the wife.
Yeah, he's like, I think we need to impress the husband. And he's like, I think we need to impress the wife. Like, yeah. I think they were for sure. Wanda was talking about sex. And they make a lot of sexual innuendos and jokes in the show.
Yeah, at first I didn't think that it was just going to be like, all right, she just wants to fuck, and then later on she's like, well, do they want to split a chocolate a chocolate strawberry 3 ways? And I was like, well, she really just wanted to fuck. That was her only plan. She
was here for a good night, bro. It was gonna be a fun one for Viz, bro.
And what's crazy to me is like, I don't know. It's so funny because. Gosh dang it, I forgot what I was going to say. I heard
This show does that to me all the time.
No. I think I know why they can get away with some of these dirtier jokes, or like at least these like innuendos and stuff that's kind of going to go like over heads of people. Is probably because of how generally confusing the show is as a whole. They're probably just banking on you sitting there with your jaw on the floor and like your eyes like in a permanent like.
What the fuck?
That the joke is just gonna totally just miss.
Also, probably fits in with the whole that era of like sitcom, because there were just tons of those like low key sex jokes.
Yep.
So, right. It was regulated television. You could only do so much. You had so much wiggle room.
Yeah,
and
where you say something and
don't get me wrong, Disney's really not much different. Don't get it twisted. They're not much different.
That's why I'm surprised that we've gotten a few like when now we'll get to it, but next we get the thing that makes me think Wanda is in control of this place. Maybe not consciously, but at least in some way, because we get the Stark commercial for the toaster here. Mm-hmm. And the toaster beeps and it beeps and it beeps. It gets faster and faster until it ding, the toast is ready, and it's Stark made, much like the bomb that sat in her house for 2 days before it exploded, just ticking and ticking and ticking until it blew up and killed her parents. Now, do you guys think the actor and actress in these commercials are her parents?
Oh,
that's what I
really. Oh,
that would be traumatic. See, and I talked to you guys. I sent this in Twitter maybe or something about how these commercials are like so there's the Stark toaster, and then there's the Strucker
and the Hydra soak and stuff like that.
Yeah, but then there's what's the Strucker one? I don't
watch.
Yeah, like all these commercials, like in the sitcom, are like supposed to like be, I guess, markers of her trauma. I guess things that have been like really traumatic to her. This is how they like appear in this universe. I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's what makes me think like we're in something. Like this is like you said. This is something of her creation. I'm with that theory. I feel like what I just said sort of supports that loosely in a sense.
It does. Like I think this is what leads me to believe that it is in some way built by her. And if it's not built by her, then it's specifically designed for her. You know?
Right.
And that's where it's
100% never made the connection about the toaster and like the bomb that killed her parents. But I did think while watching, I was like, why the fuck does it sound like a bomb?
Well, yeah, because like the parents,
Yeah.
I say the parents, but the people in the commercial go silent and the bomb just goes beep, 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 beep,
Yeah.
beep, 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 beep.
I
beep,
actually
beep,
thought,
beep.
I was like, is this just going to explode in the commercial? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I think that was the connection to be made there.
Okay, just remind me of that moment, the beeping and the silence when we get to the scene where Herb is cutting through the fence. Just remind
I get
me,
you. All right.
if we can.
Next up, Hart shows up to the house and Wanda greets him in the nightie that she's wearing to surprise Vision in when he gets home, and Viz kicks on the lights and everyone's aghast at what Wanda is wearing, and they're like, it's Sokovian. She's European.
Quick, they're honestly, it's kind of funny to see them make it up as they go along because they're a little like you can tell they're definitely better on their feet than they have obviously used to have been, but there's still so much like just I don't know. It's so funny to see like the uncomfortability, but like same time see how much better they still are somehow.
That's what makes it sitcom-y is the goofiness to the way they handle these things. You know, they're a little bit more inelegant about it. They just kind of stumble upon their solutions, and Vision and Wanda head to the kitchen to discuss the situation at hand, and Vision's like, "Yo, what are you wearing?" Like, I'm okay.
Okay, I'm just mad that homie didn't even take just a second to be like, "Yo,
like,
yeah, you on to something like that." Like he didn't even hit a
he does go, I love what you're wearing, but shit, not right now. My boss is expecting a 4-course meal. Like we need to get out there. And
she is the meal. She is the meal. What are we missing? Why is it confusing?
A snack, I tell you. And
no. She is all 4. All of the courses.
They talk about the heart on the calendar, and he tells her it was an abbreviation for this, and she goes, "You move at the speed of light, and I can make pens float. Who the fuck needs abbreviation?" I loved that part. I thought that was
true. Yes,
and
this man is
Wanda was ready for a real romantic. Wanda was ready for a real romantic night with that one little strawberry cinder, and Vision cannot figure out.
Sorry, go ahead.
The chocolate covered strawberry is an interesting one to me. Like, interesting choice.
Well, I think it's so like like I hate to say mainstream, but like I don't know. It's so like that's just the.
Would you just feed each other chocolate covered strawberries?
I feel like that's the gag. Is like this is sitcom-y. This is supposed to depict like something very like I don't know common. I guess.
This was
absolutely.
I'm gonna feed you a chocolate covered strawberry.
Yeah, like Wanda's trying to like just fit this like trophy wife like sitcom like thing. That's what they do. You know, the chocolate covered strawberry. That's like just do you think I can't go there? We can. This is PG. Well, it's not exactly PG-13, but I will.
We drop a lot of bombs. It's not PG-13.
Yeah, but I don't think this is okay. I don't think what I was gonna say was okay.
All right. We'll continue.
No, because that's how we end up on a cold open.
You go for it then.
Absolutely not.
No. All right. So Vision back in the living room is talking to Mr. Hart, and he's like just again trying to figure out what the fuck it is they do at that company, and he's not giving him an inch, and he's like, "You really are dense, aren't you, Vision? Like you can't figure this out." And Vision's like, "No, I can't, and I can figure out everything. So clearly you're fucking wrong." Like that's got to be what's going through his head. And I love that Agnes was just like down to ride. You know, she pulls up and is like, I've got a full 4-course meal if you need it. What kind of housewife would I be without it?
Yeah, that was a funny joke.
Maybe the company that he works for, maybe the company that Vision works for is what runs the simulation that they're in, maybe. Because it's all input and output, and that's all a simulation is. So maybe they're just running it on their own.
Maybe that's why it's so
secretive, and we don't know what.
Okay, Joe. Okay, Joe. I like that one. You over here?
It makes total sense because Vision's going to stumble upon something, and that's why no one will tell him what it is. And Mr. Hart choking is a glitch. And
yo, that's why the production. That's why the simulation is running at such high efficiency, is because Vision is controlling the shit without even knowing he's controlling the shit.
Oh my god!
And Sword is so blown away because like this probably registers on some kind of radar, like somewhere somehow, like this kind of output or whatever, like this kind of like tampering shows up on Sword's radar, and that's how Sword comes in. They come like trying to see what's up. Yeah.
You guys ever watched
Tell me we didn't do that. Tell me we didn't just do that.
Have you guys seen the Umbrella Academy?
Yes.
You know the people who work like to make time continuous and make it correct.
The agency.
Yeah, I believe that it's sort of one of these that's going on right now. I think that's what Vision's company would relate to or is close to.
Well, I had that thought when I was rewatching the 3 episodes today. I had the thought that maybe what we're seeing is a version of reality. Like what we're seeing is something hidden is in front of us, you know, like maybe Vision is working at a company like that, but there's some sort of altering to the psyche that's making him see it like that, like in the sitcom-y universe they're in. Obviously, I don't know, that's kind of reaching, but there were times where I was like, what's going on here? What am I seeing?
Isn't he getting a promotion though? So like, wouldn't that
he does get?
They didn't talk a lot about that. They just said, "Let's get you a promotion," and then they left.
So maybe that's how like he's.
To me, that again seems so like, I don't know. It seems so Truman Showy to me, like that. Like, oh well, here's your promotion, and it's like. For those of you that are listening, you can't see, but I did this like corny like cheat salesman like smile thumbs up, you know, to really emphasize, just so you guys know.
Did you notice that in the second episode's title sequence, the WandaVision, when they drive through the neighborhood, ain't a set of eyes not on them, and then when they're sitting on their living room couch, everyone's peeking in the window. And everyone's seeing what Wanda and Vision are up to. And I want to know if that's like a wink to the audience, like they're all here to watch them, or if it's just part of the show. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
The choking and like
that's what's and what's also really important is immediately after the choking, how they act. Because here's the thing, that night did not go well. The entire time, it didn't go well, not one bit. And then after he chokes, he decides they've had a wonderful night and Vision's getting a promotion. So this is another part that leads me to believe they're in a sitcom universe where no matter what happens, at the end of the episode, everything is going to be just okay.
Yeah.
You know, like that's because that's what they do in sitcoms. No matter what happened, shit's fine. You know?
Why was the wife just stop it? Stop. Like, what?
That's why I think it was a glitch in the sitcom everything's perfect kind of thing.
Okay. So is the black and white to color a glitch or they unlocked some information.
See, I think that's where the tampering comes into play, whether it be Wanda and whether it be inadvertent or intentional or not, like whatever. I think there has to be something there in that regard. I think that has to be some sort of.
Well, here's the thing: is that it's been shown multiple times that Wanda wants to be here.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to be reminded of reality, and she because even in episode 2, when that beekeeper ass motherfucker comes out of the sewers, she goes no, and just rewinds the shit and is like, "Let's play this back." Like, what? What the fuck? Like, she clearly wants to be where she is.
Yeah,
it's just a matter of like, is she trying to keep the other people there, or are they trying to keep her there?
Yeah, I was thinking with the color. If we do go along the line of thinking that it's all that this is like some type of simulation, and that Vision is literally helping the simulation be more efficient, maybe the promotion that he got, he just did so well that it was like, fuck it, you get color now. The simulation's better.
It's like turning on the power.
Yeah.
What about
Vision just turned on the power? Vision just opened the door.
Helicopter that popped in their bushes, and it was like the only color thing.
And the blood.
The blood's also colored. I don't know, why would they fly a toy helicopter in there? I think that's a real helicopter that in the sitcom universe is shrunk down to the size of a toy helicopter.
Yeah, maybe.
They sent in a helicopter into that hoe, and that shit came crashing down. I don't know how, but it did, because it ended up in Wanda's bushes.
But like, what was that
noise?
noise?
Simulation trying to keep it in order.
Was the helicopter crashing,
bro? But it was like a branch hitting the. I don't know.
That's the disguise. Is the branch hitting the window?
It could be that the helicopter shrunk and then the branches. Oh, Colton, I like that.
I'm just trying to reach for stuff, bro.
I think it could be something like trying to keep the simulation in order. So like that helicopter got like yeeted basically. And that was their way of covering it up.
Also, we just kind of you didn't mention it earlier because it wasn't an important part, but I really loved it. Whenever like the boss and them come in to start the dinner, and he says like, "Oh, she's from Europe, she's blah blah blah," and he goes, "We don't dine with communists." Or bullshit. I thought that was fucking hilarious.
Oh, wait, what was I just gonna say? Oh yeah. Wait, no. What?
Hey, there's only room for one of us here, Joseph, okay?
Dude, I am beyond broken. I don't know. My brain just can't think normally anymore. What was I gonna... All right, just continue. I'll maybe think about it.
All right.
Similar to later on, whenever he goes like, haha, so-and-so's a commie. I just enjoy all of the jokes.
Oh, yes. So, Vision and Wanda, they had no idea what their backstory was. They didn't know how they got to know each other. They didn't know how long they knew each other. I don't know. I feel like their memories...
That's what's tough, too, is that they don't even have,
No, I think they knew that they were together, and I think that they knew that they were together for a while. I just don't think they knew, a definite, date of, here's when we started dating.
Here's the thing, is that it has to be more muddled than that. It has to be that they legitimately do not remember.
Or
else because they met during, by the Avengers, basically. They met by, all of that, and then they're trying to leave that in the past, all their powers. So that's why Vision goes out as a normal human and not as Vision. They're trying to live a normal life, and maybe they just haven't come up with the fake story to tell people, because if they told the real one, they'd be like, wait a minute.
The way they sit at that table, Wanda has no idea. Wanda, they both go, yeah, we met in...
Yeah,
and we were married in...
I think their memories are gone unless they're forced to think about things, and that's why whenever Gwendoline said the thing about her brother, pointedly but your brother died of, and she's like, shut the fuck up, get out.
See, that's the thing. That's another part that goes. Wanda has to be in control of it in some way. Is that she legitimately doesn't want to remember her past?
Yeah.
Is that a part of it? And that's why the bad memories are manifesting in commercials. because they're not actually a part of the story. They're just right outside of it.
Oh, do you think the blood was in color because they saw so much blood, like during, her time is literally fighting, this war basically.
Breaking the simulation.
She doesn't want to be reminded of
it's breaking. That's what it is. No. Those things happening break up that simulation. It breaks up it's like that cut camera moment. Think about it. Like, she cuts her hand. That's bleeding. That wouldn't happen in the show. That wasn't in the script. Right? Mr. Hart choking. That wasn't in the script.
Helicopter crashing.
Not in the script. It's in color, so it's standing out. Wanda is aware, but only so aware. There's only so much.
And so whoever's controlling it turned it to color so these things were less noticeable.
Oh my god. So how do we know that Wanda isn't the only one seeing in black and white and then only seeing a few things in color? Like, what if she's the only one that sees these little things that are color and no one else does?
Yeah, I think she's the only one that sees that. Yeah, I think until it's all color, I think she's the only one that can see in color. Otherwise, if I'm living in black and white and I cut my hand and I see red shit pouring out of me, I'm going to freak the fuck out.
I'm freaking out.
That's true, because whenever Wanda picked up the helicopter, I don't know, what the heck?
Yeah, I think she has to be the only one that sees color until
everything is.
Yeah.
I'm going to skip to the end of this episode because we've kind of talked about everything of importance in it. So we close on someone with an agency known as SWORD watching on, and I believe this person to be Darcy from the Thor movies, if you remember Darcy. Because she's in the cast. She's listed as a cast member. She's supposed to be in the show, and I think it would make sense for her to be a part of SWORD, and therefore I don't think they'd be the bad guys.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
That's
every show always kind of gives you a hint of who is the antagonist. Like, who is opposing everything.
Who are we going against here? Yeah.
But we really have no idea. It can go so many directions.
Well, dude, I've heard things from as far as like Dormammu to just unknown things, and it's like we have so much in between there. There is so much. It's either just some new guy or Dormammu. Well, that doesn't leave any room for questions or anything. Like, wow.
Yeah, maybe this is I think the stones have to be included in some way because those are the most valuable thing in the universe, by far. I don't know. I think
we're moving on from the stone.
You think?
Maybe. I think as far as this timeline is concerned, that's the thing. We don't know what timeline it is either. But maybe the stones will come into importance because I'm thinking of the Loki series. Obviously, they're still going to be of importance there because he's using the Tesseract everywhere. So, I mean,
but I think
I don't know.
Our Wanda, I think the stones have to be out of it because they don't have stones anymore.
Well.
Also love the idea of it being Dormammu.
I do too. That'd be awesome.
I have
a small theory that's not really of importance, but just would indicate the existence of a multiverse potentially, which we already know there is, but just kind of like me. The address of Vision and Wanda's home is 2800, and the theory is that the events of MCU take place on Earth 2800, and there is multiple universes out there.
Well, isn't that Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man movie, basically confirming that? I mean, it's bringing in multiple Spider-Mans from multiple different universes.
We still don't have that hardcore confirmed, but it's pretty much people assume that. So hopefully it like, can you imagine at this point now if they just didn't say anything and
Oh
we all
my
watched
gosh.
for it?
It would be
And
such
then
a catastrophic fail.
Also, though, like, even if they do say that there's a multiverse in the new Spider-Man movie, that literally means nothing, since the last Spider-Man movie, 90% of the movie they did with this is all a multiverse, I'm from a different universe, and it's like, haha, F
But I mean,
you.
that's just what
But
Mysterio
this
made.
one's for real.
I don't know. Mysterio just made that.
could be a setup for like a wink. This is gonna happen, you know, like
Yeah. Shoot.
some shit like that. But
What?
let's move on to the second episode.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Don't touch that dial. That's what the
We're
that's
not
what the
going
episode's
in.
called. Don't touch that dial. And
Oh.
I love this opening scene again. One of my favorites in the show so far. What was that? I didn't hear that.
I thought you were making a joke. You said, "Don't turn that dial," and I said, "We're
I know,
not going anywhere."
kind of
I thought
there's
you
a
were
little bit
like
of a
making the
double on-
transition, and then I kind of like went with it, but it turns out you weren't taking it there, so now I just look foolish. So let's just get right going.
Yeah, but don't touch that dial. I love this opening scene with Wanda and Vision in bed here, and they just really get sitcom-y when she slams the beds together, and Vision's like, "You took the opportunity to redecorate," and she's like, "Yes, I did," and he's like, "Wanda, darling, hit the lights." And then they turn the bed to one bed, and they climb under the covers. I'm like, "Oh, Wanda and Vision are fucking."
Yeah, that's exactly my thoughts. Just wow, they actually put that in there. Like, there's
Yo,
what is
And
there
in
to
this
interpret?
episode, more than either of the others, they seem so smitten.
They do. They
and
do
so
seem very
satisfied.
attached, like clingy, like
No,
just
like
so
they
affectionate.
seem like they are very satisfied. Like they live very cohesively. Wink, wink.
Like they getting it in basically. Let's just
Yes,
cut the crap. Let's just cut the
yeah,
baloney.
they sex.
They do be
And,
fucking. That's
They
it.
do be fucking. And again, theme song
Whoopi.
slap. We got WandaVision, and the whole neighborhood's watching. I already mentioned that little part. And I love that Vision and Wanda are performing a magic act when Wanda's literally a witch, the Scarlet Witch. She can do whatever. She could do the magic necessary.
And Vision
But,
can
you know,
literally fly.
In a real magic act, everything is fake.
Not this one. That's for sure.
No, actually, this one, it was fake. Because they were purposefully doing it fake, so no one would ask any questions.
Yeah. And like this was one of those parts where I was like, "Oh, they really satisfied, huh?" Because like she got in the box and she goes, "You really are rather dashing." And then the way Vision goes, "Thank you, darling." I was like, "Oh, they doing it."
Yeah.
It was just a vibe. You got the vibe, and Wanda again hears the bang outside of their house after their little playful magic scene. And amidst the black and white, we see a red and yellow helicopter with the sword logo on it. And like I said earlier, I think that's a real deal helicopter that actually crashed in the simulation, but it's showing up like this somehow. And right at this part, Agnes approaches Wanda and said, "Look, it's the star of the show." It's the star of the show.
Almost
Wink,
too
wink.
easy of a like. It's almost too easy of a like fourth wall break. Like, it can't be like that.
Well, then she goes, "It's my bunny, Senor, whatever."
Yeah. Man, what the?
See, now that makes me feel like she's not the bad guy because it's like she's dropping a hint here. Like, hey, if you look closely, look here, Wanda. You're the star of the show. Hint, hint. There's a simulation.
Well, I took it as, like, once I got it in my head that Agnes could be the villain, I took it as kind of a, look, it's the star of the show, and I'm completely fucking with you. Like, I've got you.
Or she's like, I'm aware. I know okay, now I'm with
And this
it.
next little part, too, confuses me. When Wanda walks in the house, and Dennis the messenger walks by, and we see this little exchange between him and Agnes that's like, why the fuck was this in the episode? I think it had to mean something. I can't figure out what it meant, but I think it had to mean something greater than just a random interaction because it was just weird. It gave me a weird vibe.
See, but I think it could have literally just been like, that's just that character just being like, haha, I'm playful. And then as he's walking away, she checks him out and is like, That's just
Yeah.
my character. I'm just kind of an oddball.
True. It could also just be that. I'm just reading into everything at this point. And Agnes brings Wanda before Dottie, the neighborhood queen, and tells her that if she's gonna get in good with her, everything will be fine. But she shouldn't be herself, and she probably shouldn't be dressed the way she is. But not the time for that. And,
Do you think she is the antagonist?
Dottie? No, I think. Well, here in a second, the reason I don't think Dottie's the antagonist. We'll talk about it, but I had that thought during it, and what's up?
It seems too easy for her to be the antagonist. It just
She
doesn't.
runs everything. What do you think that means? Like, she runs. If you want to get your kid into school, if you want to do anything in the town, you have to go through her. I don't know.
True.
I feel like she's the obvious choice, but maybe that's why she's not the antagonist.
So, for the first time here, we hear this for the children. What the fuck is that? It's like the way they all say it in unison is what bothers me. It rubs me the wrong way.
Who do you think the children are? I think
I think it could be foreshadowing Billy and Tommy.
Yeah, I think these two children are very, very, very important.
I think they are too, but it's like, are they real? Like, what's going on here? How does Wanda get pregnant and have a baby in one day? Like,
Okay, so I saw something wild today,
Okay.
and
Talk
I
to me.
need help understanding if it's even. I don't even think it could be close to true, but I need help understanding if I'm even coming close to grasping what it's trying to say, I guess, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, Billy and Tommy are the kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in the comics, what are their like superhero names, or do they have one?
they do have superhero names. I can't remember what they are, but they do.
Is one of them Speed?
Quicksilver, her brother, and one
Quicksilver's
baby came
cute.
out awful quick. So maybe that
No,
is
I
hinting.
heard that. And if it's Speed, I saw something that said that somebody tried to say that maybe Evan Peters could come and play that, but I think that's ridiculous.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
That would be awesome, but that's totally ridiculous in my opinion.
No, it won't
right?
happen, but that'd be awesome.
Yeah. But yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
I knew there was going to be twins as soon as the first kid came out.
Yeah.
I knew.
No,
I knew.
I knew as soon as Vision said we're going to name our kid Billy, and Wanda goes, "No, we're going to name our kid Tommy." I was like, "Well, then they're going to name both their children Billy and Tommy. They're having 2 kids."
Okay, that makes. Now I feel dumb.
That's where I was. But
Someone talked about
here at this, what's up?
didn't someone mention Wanda's brother in one scene, and then she got like really
That's in
hostile
episode
about
3,
it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's in
Okay.
episode 3. We'll get there. We'll get there. Here, actually, at this meeting is where we meet Geraldine, and her and Wanda click really well, really, really fast, and that's what makes me think she's potentially Sword, and she is Sword. I think we got that confirmed. So I don't know. Maybe she was just trying to become friends with Wanda and kind of figure out what the hell she's doing there. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And
I couldn't say anything. I don't know. I don't think any. Yeah.
Okay, when does when does the little when does the little hangout happen between Geraldine and Wanda in the living room? When does that happen? Is that 3 or 2?
episode 3. Yeah.
Oh, damn. Okay, I'll have to wait.
But next we see Vision pulling up to the
there's
neighborhood watch, and it's
Episode 3.
I think that's funny given that he was once an Avenger and now he's at a neighborhood watch meeting. And it's also funny that the guys are gossiping instead of doing anything that's actually productive. And they offer him some food, and he goes, "Oh no, thank you, I don't eat food." And again, we get another not eating joke. He says, "What I mean is I don't eat between meal times. I'm a regular eating machine." And it's like,
Honestly, I kind of dig it. That's a good save in my opinion. I
it
can
was
get
a
with
good
that.
save, I'm a regular eating machine is just a little.
I feel like
No, that part was overdone.
with that.
I didn't hear you say that. You cut out. I didn't hear you say that. No, definitely overdone with that. If he would have stopped at the I don't eat between meals, that would have been good. But no,
It would have. It would have.
Like, I am human, and I enjoy human food.
And I like that Vision's gossip was, Norm is a communist.
Yes.
Straight up.
And he said it with such haste that I have to think it was true. And
yeah,
I
feel like he would know. Like, he's going to have access to that. He's going to know.
He ran all the calculations, and that's what came back.
True, because of Norm's reaction to it. Because he goes, Norm's a communist. And Norm goes, and just starts awkwardly laughing at it, and they all start laughing along with him. Like, they're like, oh, Norm's not a communist. You're so funny.
But they offer Vision some gum. They're like, can you eat gum, mister? You can't eat food? And he's like, well, they're like, is gum really a food? And Vision goes, I think it's purely for mastication. And then Herb goes, no, I don't do that. Never thought we'd get a joke about masturbation in the MCU, but here we are.
I love it.
They did it without having to say the word.
They did it without Deadpool.
They did it with Vision.
Impressive.
Yeah, which is...
man, there would have been some sick gambling odds on that, dude. Vision would have had such good odds. You could have thrown a $10 bet down. I bet you could have won 100,000.
If you include him or Deadpool in the MCU, we've gotten 1,000 jokes about masturbation already.
Well, no, I'm saying, but they didn't have to use Deadpool to do it.
Yeah, which is fair.
Next, we get this scene between Dottie and Wanda, which gets weird. And it makes everything a little more interesting because it lets me know that the people in the simulation aren't aware that they're there. Because when she breaks character, she goes, who are you? What's going on? Where are we? She has no idea what the fuck's going on. So it tells me that nobody there is there by choice.
Except, are they though?
I think... See, that's where it gets complicated. Is I think some of them are.
Yeah, some of them are there by choice and know they're there by choice. Some of them,
I think one of them is Agnes, and I think another is Geraldine.
Geraldine, and then what's his name? Herb. They all obviously know that they're there.
Herb, I feel like Herb was just one that like Agnes was just like, fuck it, I'm going to tell you what's going on. I feel like he can't have been in on it from the beginning.
Herb is like the guy from Thor Ragnarok that Hela uses. What's the guy's name?
Oh yeah, the guy who has the fucking guns.
Yeah, I call him
on Texas.
Yeah.
God, what a guy. And but when they start breaking down, the radio kicks on, and we hear this voice, which is played by Randall Park, and he says, "Who's doing this to you, Wanda? Wanda, do you read me? Who's doing this to you, Wanda?" And this is what breaks Dottie. She goes, "Who are you? What's going on?" She smashes her glass. Her hand starts bleeding, and we can see the blood. It's in red. And you're just like, what the fuck is happening? What am I watching? Like, I completely forget that I'm like actually watching something super intense, because then like we get so like lighthearted and stuff, and then they're like, oh yeah, by the way, some fucking freaky shit is happening.
Okay, so two things to say. One, I think this is certainly an indication that this is a moment that sends like the simulation into a fritz. Like, it doesn't know what's going on. Like, they can't control it, and I think that is why Randall Park, who in the past has been with the FBI, right?
I think so.
In the case of Paul
Rudd,
he was
an Ant-Man.
In the case of Ant-Man, is that him reaching out to Wanda and Vision, which would make sense because they were looking for people, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I know the timelines get murky. Whatever. Point being, secondly, this show has had one or two moments. I think the blood moment being one, and then the freaking, oh my gosh, the freaking Herb using the saw on the concrete and just glitching out. moments that have made me feel like just like chills almost in a way.
No,
Like
dude,
like
the
like
first
uh
time
like the only thing I've ever seen like it is like Hereditary. Like just that unsettling almost feeling like, why do you keep doing this thing that makes me like cringe? Like stop,
I
please
got
stop.
that during the first episode when he started choking and she just kept going, "Stop
Yeah,
it.
that too.
Stop it.
That too.
Stop
And
it."
I think what's synonymous is these are moments that break the simulate. Like I feel confident in saying that. Like I'm
Oh, you're
putting
absolutely
stock
right.
into that.
What if Sword broke away from S.H.I.E.L.D.? They went rogue, possibly. They thought that Wanda was way more dangerous than any other Avenger, so they trapped her in the simulation. And then S.H.I.E.L.D. is trying to save her, and maybe we heard a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent through the radio saying, what are they doing to you? Because,
If
we
he's
don't.
a field agent, he got promoted.
Because he was with
Through
the
the radio?
Yeah. He was
guy-
an FBI agent. The guy who plays him is an Ant-Man as an FBI agent. But I don't know. I just don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, that could make sense. My only issue with it, though, is the last time there was a breakaway from S.H.I.E.L.D. was Hydra, and that just resulted in essentially just a movie of a straight-up war. And I feel like if that's the case and Sword broke off, I feel like they wouldn't have this many resources.
we do get a commercial of Hydra Soak, and in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Phil Coulson references Hydra Soak as what is it? What does Hydra Soak do? What does he say? Oh gosh. Did anybody else see that?
I've seen it, but I don't remember the reference to Hydra Soak.
Yeah.
But right here we got a commercial for the Strucker watch right here. And again, a nod to Wanda's life with Strucker having given her powers and stuff. And again, just one of those traumatic memories that's being triggered through the commercials of the show. And back in the show, Vision arrives with at the magic show with gum clearly in his system. Go ahead, Kyler. Kyler, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. I just got back. I hate to throw us all the way back off, but I found that Phil Coulson thing. So in S.H.I.E.L.D., he's I don't really know what he's talking about, but I'll just read the whole quote. He says, "I would have figured it out a long time ago if it wasn't for the mind control soap. That blue soap everyone uses. Hydra loads it up with chemicals. It seeps into our bloodstream and implants false memories into our brains. They want us to believe this is a magical place."
Because the commercial also goes, "Do you want to be somewhere that's..." Yeah. Okay.
So,
all right.
I'm not saying that this whole. I sure hope that this whole show isn't based on the premise that they just use this soap. I'm not saying that.
I know it's
I'm just saying that's an interesting parallel, and it could be have some.
That is a little wink, wink at what's going on here.
Yeah,
It confuses me though, because as Colton, as you said, all the other commercials seem to have references, almost like someone from the outside is trying to be hey, remember. And trying to be remember this. Remember that.
Strucker did work with Hydra.
Yeah, that Strucker makes sense. And remember how you got your powers, but Hydra soap, I don't know how that's remember.
No, I think it would be like this, because what Kyler is saying, it makes everything seem like everything is a paradise. It's telling Wanda, hey, open your eyes. Everything's not right here.
Yeah, maybe.
Get woke, Wanda. She's not even based at all.
Back in the show, Vision arrives with the gum clearly in his system. Homie is just figgity fucked up, and Wanda was ready to talk about what she'd been seeing to Vision right here, and she's cut off. And this is confusing because later, she doesn't seem eager to discuss these things. You know,
everything.
She seemed like she was no, something weird just happened. Dottie just started bleeding and I heard a voice in the radio. But later on, when she sees the beekeeper, she rewinds. And when Vision starts to get all questiony in episode 3, it blips back.
Yeah.
And it's does Wanda have a wake up moment when she sees the beekeeper? Is that now she's awake? She knows what's going on?
Oh my God.
I don't know.
Also, why didn't she just rewind Geraldine?
I think because she got fucking angry.
So
what is the beekeeper's significance?
I don't know. I cannot figure that out. My
He's
guess.
basically just a 2319 from Monsters Inc. That's what he is. He's that guy.
That's the thing, is that it makes me think that, like, if this is like we're getting this through a certain lens, that he would be wearing like a toxicity suit, like one to keep shit out.
Maybe.
Like, but I don't know. Like, I've been watching Stranger Things with Emily lately, so I've been watching a couple things with this parallel universe thing, and it does remind me a little bit of the Upside Down if they're speaking through radios, and that's all they can do.
Right. But I don't know. I have such a hard time, like, I guess, wanting to buy that just because I feel like they're regulating or like monitoring this. I feel like that's their job.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if there's meddling, they get involved. I feel like that's why they're creeping around. So I feel like maybe Agnes or maybe Geraldine
Geraldine is a sword agent. And I say that because she's the daughter of Maria Rambeau from Captain Marvel. So she's got this history of military in her family. She grows up to be Monica Rambeau, plays this character Geraldine in this simulation that Sword has set up.
Do you think Geraldine knew about Wanda's powers and everything?
Yes, because she doesn't glitch the same way the others do. When she asks about Pietro and Ultron, she does that with intent, and then she purposely tries to change the subject. She doesn't just glitch out and say something and then glitch back.
You don't think it's because Wanda used her powers on Geraldine to get her into the show, and maybe that she used her powers on her, let her in on everything that Wanda knows, like all of the past?
I don't think she would, just because if she would, why would she let her know about all the stuff that has happened? Because obviously, if you
letting her know, it's just the fact that Wanda interacted with her powers, which aren't
the most important thing to me.
Oh yeah, maybe.
I'm gonna go into something here. I think Geraldine is for sure a sword agent. I think she already knows everything about Wanda's past because it's public record, and she's a sword agent. But I don't think Agnes and Herb are, because when Vision talks to them and they're like, "Is Geraldine in the house with Wanda?" and they're talking about it, she's like, "Geraldine's not good. She doesn't have a family. She doesn't have a husband. She doesn't have a home." And then I don't think Agnes and Herb wanted her there either. So that tells me they're not on the same side.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Oh my God. Be a bad guy. He's so nice. He doesn't masticate.
Man, we are getting. What's the actress's name that plays Agnes? Did you say Catherine Hahn? Is
Catherine
that right?
Hahn, yeah.
Yeah. We have gotten her and Kirsten Wiig. Well, I'm assuming, leaning into the fact that I think she's the big bad, or not the big bad, but a bad in this show, at least currently. That means we've gotten Kirsten Wiig and Catherine Hahn as just total out of the blue, unexpected, from left
villains
that
superhero
are
properties.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah.
That are great.
The show?
Sorry, it took me forever to get to that.
Kristen Wiig's in Wonder Woman 1984.
I want to say that I realized that, and I apologize. And in the aftermath, I realized how long it took me to get to that point, and I apologize. I just wanted to say that.
So if Geraldine knows everything about Wanda, and she's asking about Ultron and everything like that, is she trying to wake Wanda up? But why would she go for her
Here's the further explanation on what I think is happening. I also think Wanda did create this little pocket dimension here in the town of Westview. And then I think Sword blocked it off. Mm-hmm. Sword now has a domain over that area of land which she has set up. And they get to study it, look at it, because you saw that wall at the end of episode 3. They've got everything set up outside of it.
Maybe Geraldine needs some kind of information or needs something, but
so she goes in undercover.
But she knows that she needs to keep Wanda, I guess, isolated given everything that's happened and what she's going to be going through. This is what makes her feel better.
What I'm also taking this as is that Wanda is dangerous. Hostile. Like if they've tried to fuck with her before, it's gone bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hearing this, I'm almost kind of thinking it's like I think she created this like pocket dimension or whatever in this town. The other, like, whatever other mysterious organization has come in and is trying to keep her there and is trying to like keep her from remembering everything. That's why she can't remember anything. But Sword is trying to figure out what's happening and keep people out, and then also sent Geraldine in to be like, hey, remember this, like, wake the fuck up. And that's why she keeps getting those memories of being like, hey, remember Strucker, remember
I like that.
all these things,
like
and then like, wake up. And then that's why she had that huge reaction to it. Is she's like, I don't want to remember this. Get the fuck out. And that's also why Agnes and Herb are like, she's not good. She's from some other place. She needs to stay away, is because they're like, we're trying to keep Wanda in here. You need to get out.
But, like, what was the thing about her kids? Like, wasn't Geraldine kind of looking for her kids? Or am I just making that up?
Kids?
For her kids.
The Wanda and Vision's kids.
I mean, they were sitting right there. Oh, she wanted to hold them, but I think she was trying to move past the subject.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think she wanted to take the kids.
No, I took it as much as
really
more of like she was like, yeah. I took
Dude,
it.
I don't know. I got a vibe of like, hey, she's like, you don't want her.
Those kids, I'm gonna take them.
I don't know, because I got the vibe of her, like what they were saying, like, hey, don't let her in your house because there's newborns in there and she's dangerous.
Oh,
like
that's the potentiality. But like, I take it as, here's another possibility. Agnes, as the idea is that she would play this role. Agatha Darkness is a witch in the Marvel universe, and she's undercover as Agnes here. And maybe she's created this pocket dimension trying to help Wanda through like a therapeutic existence. You know, because in the comics, she is sort of like a motherly figure to Wanda, like a sort of mentor type character. And maybe she's created this, and Sword is trying to get Wanda to wake up. But Agnes is like, no, it's not time yet. She's not ready.
Yeah. And I took the, like, hey, let me hold your kids as much more of like a,
let's move past what I was just talking about. It's fine. It's fine.
Your brother, he died from Ultron. And she was like, what? Excuse me? What did you just say? Do you want to die? And she was like, haha, no, I just said you're so strong. Let me hold your kids. Don't kill me.
I don't know.
But
man.
let's talk about this magic show real quick. You know, it's some of the funniest stuff that I think Marvel's done with Vision, and with Vision's character, no less. You know,
Vision can be so comical, and it's so funny because it's almost in like a Mandalorian, like a Din Djarin way, and like I'm socially awkward, I'm unaware, I don't understand how social cues work, I'm gonna be uncomfortable, but like I'm not gonna notice it, and it's gonna be funny.
Yeah. I don't understand that I shouldn't out someone as a communist in the 50s.
Maybe I should fly into the air and let everyone see that I can literally fly.
He's like, all right, so Vision floats up, very ill-advised. Wanda creates a rope that ratifies the mistake, and everyone's like, okay, there was a rope there the whole time. Okay, I see it. Ha ha ha. And then Vision lifts up the piano. He's like, a show of miraculous strength. And the guy in the audience is like, what the fuck? That's my grandma's piano. And then Wanda turns it to a piece of cardboard, and he's like, what the fuck? And then again, Vision tries to do a card trick, fails miserably, and I liked the end of that scene where he's like, you did it, you got the trick right. And he's like, what are you talking about? He's like, it's my card. He goes, fine, you can have it.
He's a very drunken magician.
Yeah, and again, Vision does one last thing that's dumb, or a couple more things, where he puts the hat straight through his body. And Wanda's like, here's some mirrors. I don't know. Fuck.
Is that how mirrors work? Someone said.
Someone's like, is that even how that would work? And someone's like, shut the fuck up. Don't question it. I also took that as like a shut the fuck up. Don't make Wanda mad.
Yeah, don't ruin it.
The mirrors kind of, I don't know if it's this deep, but like mirrors sort of hint at like closed off reality. Like this is not what you're meant to see. Sort of thing. And I don't know. I don't know if it's foreshadowing or I don't know if it's literally just an explanation for a stupid trick. Yeah,
Man,
so
maybe who knows? Who knows? But they next move on to the magnet of Christeries, or the cabinet of mysteries, and Vision again fucks up the trick. He says, "I'm gonna make my wife disappear," and he closes the cabinet without Wanda in it. And he's like, "Abracadabra," and Wanda's like, "Vision, I'm still right here, buddy." And the whole crowd's like, "Oh, what's in the box? What's in the box?" And then Wanda's like, "Fuck, all right, here." She puts Geraldine in the box. Interesting choice to put. She was just like, "Fuck it. I guess some random person's going to be really freaked out today." And she picks Geraldine, and I think that's also maybe part of why Geraldine isn't super inquisitive about it. Is that she knows she has those powers. She just wanted to see if Wanda would kind of spill the beans after one question. Like,
Okay.
how'd you do it? And it's like, no, not that easy. Not that easy, Geraldine. But they go back off stage and they find the gum in Vision's system, and they take it out, and he's like, "Well, that really gummed up the works, didn't it?" And nobody laughs, and then Vision's like, "I'm much funnier without this shit, aren't I?" And when they try to make their escape, they think they're in trouble, and they're awarded the first comedy award ever for the Westview fucking talent show. And
I mean, they murdered this crowd. I mean, they really did. They were
did.
sides. Like, I can't
Here's
deny.
another example of something in which they kept fucking up, but it turned out fine.
Mm-hmm.
Which tells me it's the sitcom universe, Like, it's just fuck it. You can
Or
do whatever you want.
literally one of the best magic shows ever happened in the world because it was legitimate magic.
True. But they make it back to their house. They make their way through the door and pop down on the couch, and suddenly Wanda is pregnant. You're like, what? And Wanda's like, is this real? And Vision's like, fuck yeah, it's real. This is happening. And then they hear a bang outside. And they make their way outside to see the beekeeper climbing from the sewers, donning a sword logo on his back. And Wanda simply says no, and rewinds the tape so that there is no bang, and that the episode ends with them holding each other and seeing color once again.
What
and the episode ends, and we hear Randall Park again asking, "Who's doing this?" to Wanda.
What if the beekeeper, like, underneath the sewers, like, why would they be coming from a place like that? But maybe that's where Sword is, and that's how they're trying to come in disguised and then see what Wanda's doing.
Well, they've got that set up outside, though. We've seen that on an episode. But maybe that's a way in.
Yeah,
maybe they have to go under and then through if they can't go through that wall,
So, and that's why Wanda was so rejective of it. Like, I know you're a sword agent, or I know you're an agent that's coming in to, that isn't in favor of my agenda. I'm not accepting it, and that's why she rewinded everything. And shoot, I'm just
real quick. Two things. One, maybe there's just a beekeeper that lives in the sewers.
Maybe there is just a beekeeper that lives in the sewers.
She was so disgusted of him.
I feel like it doesn't matter
She said, no.
It doesn't matter whose logo it is that he was wearing. Kind of like Joseph, you were saying, maybe she knew it was a sword agent that was coming up, and that's why she was so rejected. I feel like if I see a fucking beekeeper climb out of the sewer, I'm going to be
for my
rejected
fucking
of the
life.
idea, regardless of what he's wearing. I don't care if he's wearing.
If a guy rises out of a sewer and he's wearing a beekeeper costume and there's bees buzzing around his head, you run the opposite way.
I'm pressing rewind on that bitch.
What the heck?
Let's get in.
I though love
this
the
last
idea.
episode.
It's
You guys ready?
lives in the sewer.
Do it.
Last one.
Yep.
And then we'll be on to episode 4 next week. Fuck, I'm so excited that we're catching up.
I am
excited.
too. I'm ready for 4 too.
I am too. So this episode 3 is called Now in Color, and the 70s theme, outstanding.
Mhm.
Again, I love it so fucking much, and they killed the aesthetic here. And
Felt like I was watching that 70s show the whole time.
Oh, dude, and Wanda's fit,
Oh,
fucking fire. And Vision's, frankly. I tend to fuck with 70s fashion.
Thumper. Both outfits.
This is a slumper.
yeah.
But we open on a doctor coming to visit, and Vision struggles to hide his nerves in front of the doctor. He's like, so do you think it's possible to get 4 months pregnant over one night?
Just kidding.
Just kidding. This has been happening, I guess. And the doctor is just casually dropping in misogyny, just sprinkling it in. You know, we like to put pregnancy in fruit terms for the little ladies to understand. Like, bro, fuck you. It made my blood boil.
Exact opposite. I thought every single one of these was hilarious. Because it was so clear. Like, it was just such like, it wasn't even like it was such dumb misogyny.
Oh yeah, like it was so 50s. Like, this is how people were. Like, you expect me to believe they were the greatest?
It felt like Mad Men almost, like the way that they treated that in that show, like that kind of topic. Like, it felt like that.
Yeah. I thought it was hilarious.
It was just some real life 50s and 60s ass shit, and then 70s. But Herb putting off some scary fucking vibes outside the house here, talking to Vision. You know, he's cutting his shit and goes straight through the wall, and then Vision's like, yo, watch what you're doing there, buddy. And he's like, oh, guess I fucked up.
Yeah, also, the fact what stuck out to me most about the scene is he's like, they're talking, and then he cuts into the like concrete, and he goes, hey buddy, what you doing there? And he goes, oh, I guess I'm fucking up, and then just like stares at him and keeps the saw in, like, and on. Like, he doesn't turn it off, he doesn't pull it out, he just like leaves it in and goes, haha, and then just stares at him.
Also, he does not move from this spot in this episode.
Yeah.
We do not see him once, not in this spot.
And even whenever we do see him later on, and clearly time has passed, but not a ton of time, but time has passed, he still has it with him. Like the hedge trimmers.
He's just supposed to be posted up out there.
Herb is on a motion track. He's just an animatronic.
Oh, dude, you remember that episode of Rick and Morty where Jerry was they were all stuck in a simulation, and Jerry was brought along with Rick and Morty?
Yeah.
Like the mailman my man! And like there was everybody that just had one task or like one thing that they were stuck doing because of processing power or whatever.
Yeah,
maybe whenever Vision isn't working, everything is running on such like lower power.
Or maybe because everything was fucking up with Wanda because she was pregnant. That's why everything else was on low power. It was like, all right, we got to devote everything to Wanda. And so Vision was just out walking around in like low graphics mode.
Yeah, maybe. But I also love the room they've put together for their child. I love this the decor they've put together, and while they're putting it together,
I loved all of it except for the stork on the wall. What kind of
interesting choice? But do you think it's another nod? Stork?
Stark?
I feel like no.
All right, never mind.
That's
AMC to the moon.
But Wanda feels the baby kick and notes it as fluttery, which sends the butterflies fluttering out the window. And Vision's like, yo, if you're feeling kicks, this puts you at 6 months after a 1 day of pregnancy. And they each throw their names in the hat for the baby, Tommy and Billy. And as soon as there were 2 names on the table, I knew they would have 2 babies, because ain't no way they're going to be like, well, I mean, obviously Vision would have been like, well, it's Tommy. Okay. Like, obviously we're going to go with yours, Wanda. Fuck what I want.
Maybe it would have been like, you know, have like whenever you name a dog, but you still call it by like 5 other names as well. Maybe they would have just like, Wanda would have called it Tommy and Vision would have called it Billy its entire life.
Yeah, he's just like, what's up, my little Billy? And they're like, why do you call me Billy and Tommy? He's like, well, we couldn't decide.
So she's calling you what she wants. I'm calling you what I want.
And Vision calculates that the baby should be born on Friday, which is 3 days away. And back in the kitchen, Wanda experiences some Braxton Hicks contractions, which I was made familiar to via Friends.
It was so weird. I had watched the episode, so I woke up the day that I watched this episode, I woke up and it was eating my breakfast and I watched Friends. And it was on the episode where Rachel gets these and starts freaking out about it, and it's a huge joke. I finished that episode of Friends, and I remember that WandaVision had came out. And so I go start watching WandaVision directly after that episode of Friends, and this happens with Wanda.
Like,
Braxton Hicks contract.
what the fuck?
Immediately, I start thinking, wow, my life is a simulation.
What if in that moment you had keeled over and were like, fuck, what's happening to me? And then a doctor burst in and was like, you're having Braxton Hicks contractions. And then you woke up from your dream.
But I mean, like, I think the FBI agent's like right there, right now.
I just got a notification on my computer.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm done. Like,
There's
when
an agent.
we sign off this week, just know.
Just know. Just know. But Wanda experiences another contraction, and she sends the whole house into a frenzy. And along with the neighborhood, she puts the power out. And Wanda asks Vision if the neighbors would know, and that it seems like they're always on the verge of figuring out their secret. And Vision hears this out and comes to something of a realization. He notes the dinner outside with Herb, and that something is wrong in their little Westview. And then someone didn't like the questioning of this reality very much because I thought my TV fucked up. They skipped back, and Vision just started again, and instead of launching into questioning the reality, he becomes a, loving, comforting husband. It's like, whatever happens, we'll get through it together. And you're just like, was that Wanda? But if that is Wanda, that's a little like, come on, man, that's your husband. Like, you can't be doing that sort of shit. Like, that's where that kind of bothers me. Like, you got to let your husband have that free will, or else are you really caring about that?
Oh, gosh.
This is why I have to think it's like someone else that not even Sword that is like, hey, rewind that shit so she can't remember.
And that's why I think Agnes is talking to Herb, and Herb is posted up outside.
Yep.
Okay. Was it just me, or was like the sky and the horizon behind Herb and them look like really fake, on purposely fake?
I noticed the exact same thing. It looked like, and it wasn't just behind Herb and them. Whenever it would like cut over and show Vision too, the background behind them, it looked like
I felt like that kind of sent. I felt like that seemed just more sitcom. Like that was.
I don't know.
Like
every other time we've seen outside, it looks photo real, like the legitimate outside that we think of. But this one time where everything's freaking out,
I've never noticed that. I've never noticed that.
I'll have to go back and check that out because I didn't notice it either.
Joseph, I'm glad I wasn't the only one that noticed it, because whenever I first noticed it, I hadn't noticed it before, so I thought, I was like, am I really like that dumb that I just didn't notice that it looked like this before? Like, how did I not notice this before? Thinking that it showed up earlier and that this was just how it's always been.
Dude, maybe it's a whole nod, like, how did I not notice that? And that's how the characters inside of this simulation are acting. Like, how didn't I notice that this was all fake this whole time?
Maybe. We're getting pretty meta. But, after this, Wanda goes into labor. And Vision floats upward out of the nerves, and both of them nervous as ever, breathing real heavy, and they join hands, they come together, and it's just adorable as hell, and then it starts raining on them, and Wanda's like, my water broke. And he's like, oh, really? I couldn't tell. And then we cut to that the Hydra Soap commercial, which we already talked about a lot in detail. So
yep, we already touched it.
We'll breeze over that. And then the rain subsides, and Wanda summons some wind for them to dry off, and Vision legs on off to chase down their doctor, and Wanda is left alone doing her breathing exercises when she hears something in the baby's room. And she goes to make her way over there, but ding dong, someone's at the door. It's Geraldine. What's up, honey? How you doing? And she's like, yo, you got a bucket? It just started raining in my house. She said all the pipes in my house started leaking, and now I need a bucket. And Wanda, she's trying to aid Geraldine, but she's having a very tough time hiding the fact that she is both pregnant and in labor.
And also that there's what we will future know as a flamingo in the baby's room.
I'm pretty sure it was a stork.
Stork. Sorry. Not
Stonk.
Stonk. It's a stonk. But amid the chaos, Geraldine decides that she's going to stick around for some discussion, and the stonk emerges from the baby's room, and I guess this means the painting came to life, and that's what Wanda was hearing in the room.
What
And,
do you mean? Wait, what is how?
The painting?
I guess the contractions. I guess.
Yeah, when she was having the Braxton Hicks or the contractions, she brought them to life and didn't know.
Imagine if she. Imagine. Do you think she could like accidentally like do some damage to someone?
Probably.
Okay.
That's fearful.
Whenever
like Darth Vader, like when he comes up from the chair and he's healed and he crushes everything, like that. Just
dude,
like just
whenever Wanda was going through these emotions of her pregnancy, it was always shown in the real world, in quotation marks, around them. Like when butterflies were in her stomach, there was butterflies in her house. When her water broke, it was raining everywhere. Whenever contractions were happening, the power went down. So maybe it's showing that Wanda is so powerful that when her emotions are heightened, that's what the whole world feels. And if she feels angry, then it is destruction everywhere. Maybe this is why she is so dangerous and that she is locked up right
Perhaps. Now. Maybe this is a prison.
Oof. Because if she's angry in this world,
maybe this is a prison and Wanda has to break out.
Yes, maybe that's why she's never angry and everything goes her way, because they don't want her to be angry because she would destroy
they don't want her
everything.
To break out.
Truman Show.
Oh my
Truman Show.
Okay. And they thought if they made her the main character of the show, she'd stick around.
Dude, the only time she got angry, someone broke out.
I don't know if I'd call it broke out.
Or she was taken out.
Also don't know if I'd call it taken out.
And what happened to her?
Forced out?
She got heated out.
Yeeted out.
That was the only time she was ever angry in the show, was whenever Ultron was mentioned. She's like, what are you talking about? I am very mad at you now. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Like, I have destroyed you.
But it did seem very on Wanda to get rid of her.
Yeah. That wasn't someone else removing her. That was Wanda saying, get the fuck out.
Or, well, we didn't see her do that.
But we did see whenever she flew out and landed on the ground, like as she was getting thrown out, we did see some of the red, like.
Yeah, that's true. She certainly didn't leave voluntarily, Like.
Yeah. This wasn't like she just took a stroll out. This was very clearly Wanda threw her the fuck out.
Yeah, but Wanda narrowly avoids being caught when the stork makes a noise by passing it off as the ice maker in the fridge, and the stork again makes its way around the couch and tries to nod Geraldine's pants because it has fishies on them. So he tries to eat them.
Also loves that. Thought it was
and
just
then
funny.
Wanda's like, oh shit, sorry, but the babies are coming, so you're going to have to help me here. And Vision picks up the doctor back at his house and super speeds back to the house, and she sends Wanda sends her house into like a fantastical Disney-ass mess, spinning paintings and swinging chandeliers and shit. And Geraldine delivers Wanda's first baby, and Vision arrives. Geraldine and the doc head to the kitchen so he can have a moment alone with Wanda and their child. And Viz changes back to his normal self and holds the baby and declares, "This is Tommy," showing that like no matter what, he was gonna give Wanda Tommy. Like that was going to be their kid. And then Wanda's like, "Aw, ah!" She fucking screams, and Vision's like, "What the fuck? What's going on?" And she's like, "There's another." And he goes, "Oh, it's Billy. Here we go." And so now Wanda and Vision are the proud parents of a pair of lovely twins. And Viz walks the doctor out of the house, and he's like, "So you going on your vacation?" And he goes, "No, small towns, they're hard to escape."
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like someone who's there voluntarily to me.
I don't think they were going on vacation at all in the first place.
It's so Get Out.
Well, that's that Truman Show. That's literally in Truman Show where he's like, "Where do you want to travel?" Travel agency is all booked up. You can't go anywhere. Sorry.
Also, you really skipped over the other bit of just super casual misogyny from the doctor that I also thought was funny. After she helped deliver the baby, and he was like, "Man, you know what? You could make it as a nurse."
Oh yeah,
which I also laughed at.
Yeah, that was another part of it.
That doctor's cold.
Yep, just a real misogynistic piece of shit. And
Real nice guy.
and Viz goes to walk the doctor out, and he says that the small town's hard to escape. And Viz spots Agnes talking to her all secret-like, whisper, etc. And they seem very fishy. And Agnes turns to him and asks if Geraldine is inside with Wanda. And back inside, Wanda confides in Geraldine about Pietro, her twin. And she sings in Sokovian to her children. And Geraldine says, he was killed by Ultron, wasn't he? Wanda goes, what did you say?
Excuse me, bitch?
And outside, Agnes and Herb say that Geraldine is an interesting addition to their neighborhood. No husband, no family, and Vision's like, well, that's no big deal. And then they go, no home. Which means she does not spend her nights there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. If she's an undercover sword agent, right?
Obviously.
Why would she have a necklace that has a sword on it?
Because
why is it made so
that wasn't
obvious?
there before.
Exactly. So I think it's Wanda seeing through these people and being like, oh, marking them as obviously, okay, your sword, I know who I don't care about.
Oh, see, I was taking it more as just like she, isn't trying to hide the fact that she's sword because of the fact that she's assuming Wanda doesn't know what the fuck sword is.
I think she does.
I don't know. We'll see. But Geraldine back inside tries to cover up for what she just said, and Wanda isn't taking any of the shit, like just not having any of it.
But you're such a strong woman.
Herb outside tries to articulate what's going on. He really tries. He goes, we can't tell you because and Agnes is like, yo, you gotta stop. And back inside, Wanda sees the sword around Geraldine's neck, and then Herb and Agnes go back to acting all normal and just like right outside. And that tells me that was the moment that she sent Geraldine flying. When they finally were like, okay, we can relax. Geraldine's gone. And
okay.
she sent her on that, Wanda sent Geraldine on a fucking trip. And back inside, Wanda tells Viz that she left, she had to rush home, and then the screen widens, and we see the town of Westview, and Geraldine fly from a glitch in the air outside of it. And then numerous military operatives appear to approach her and come to her aid. And we see a massive plot of land dedicated to this area that is seemingly some sort of pocket dimension.
It felt very Stranger Things like. Did it not?
It did. It also helps that that Stranger Things is supposed to be that set in like the 90s and like 80s, 90s set.
It makes
stuff.
it's not stale.
And there's also Russians or communists.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The fact that it's set in the past, it's in a whole is it a different dimension? Is it a different whatever? There's communists, there's Russians, it's set back in the 50s to the 70s. It definitely does give it very Stranger Things vibes.
Maybe it is because maybe this it's in the Cold War era, and maybe Wanda and the outside world are in a Cold War with each other because they know if Wanda is angry, it's like mutually assured destruction.
I don't think we're dealing with actual time travel, though.
Yeah, no.
This is something.
Shit, guys, I don't know, but I'm ready for next week. I think we've done more than enough talking for these first three.
I was honestly worried about how the banter would be. I feel like we've held our own.
I think 2 hours worth is enough.
Yes.
I don't know if I'm more confused than I was coming in, or if I know more. I don't know which I feel.
I feel like I at least have two concrete directions I'm leaning. And then if at least I can go into that with at least two different ways, and then if I miss, well, that's okay.
I'm less confused with a couple things, but also 100% more confused.
You still don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Mainly the fucking beekeeper. I've only gotten more confused about what is going on with that, minus the fact that I've already accepted it as headcanon that a beekeeper just lives under the town.
Well, guys, hopefully our questions are answered, and hopefully we get some more next week on episode 4 of WandaVision. I'm ready. This has been the Penny Bloom Podcast. I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Miles Buttress, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having us. Anytime, man.
Next week, even. And on the screen below me
So
that I
long.
can see, and you cannot,
I needed that.
KBZ Kyler Barnett. Thank you very much.
Absolutely glad to be here.
Absolutely. Again, this was the Penny Bloom Podcast. Remember, peace, love, and bloom. And always praise Keanu Reeves.